Hey, everybody, welcome. Good evening. How are you doing tonight? Just doing some quick housekeeping here. Make sure everything's up and running. Get back over here. This is how loud this doesn't seem to want to. There it is. Okay. Now I'll try to get that open and running. It's going. All right. So I don't know. Is it tomorrow or is it Wednesday? We'll find out, I guess. We got some big announcements supposed to happen on the 7th or 8th, I think. Is that right? That's when it's supposed to happen. So yeah, we'll definitely believe in that. Hey, good day, Roy. How you doing, bud? Yeah, so we've got I don't know, let's see what we got here. We go and share the screen to you guys. I stopped sharing. Yeah, so trying to be ready, then I lost it all. Screen, that one. Share. Okay, there we go. And let me make this big. And we want this one. Okay, so yeah, so Sony's starting to show those holiday deals now this week. We got $200 off the A7 IV, bringing it down to $22.98, $2,300. It's a pretty good deal, I'd say, for an A7 IV. Haven't seen that one drop in sale. We also have some lenses on sale, $100 off the following lenses: 51.2, the 85.1.4, the 35.1.4, the 14.1.8. That's the one I'd like to really have. 200, 600, that's a good one, and $100 off the DV1. So yeah, definitely one if you're interested in that. Holiday sales are starting to emerge now. So hot rumor: Sony A9 will be the first sports wildlife camera with a global shutter. So this is kind of big news that Sony's going to say put this global shutter in the A9 III. So it's tomorrow, November 7th at 2 p.m. London time. Sony will announce a new A9 III and 300G lens. There's already a product page listed on BH Photo for this. Oh, really? Well, let's take a look at that. What do we got here? Oh, the special event. Yeah, so they haven't announced it yet, but it's coming. New item coming soon. Now it's going to be interesting to see if they global shutter for the first time in a camera that's probably a 33 megapixel. Be my guess. It's a similar sensor or probably a modified sensor of the A7 IV sensor, probably improved or whatever. The very important info I can share today is that the Sony A9 III will be the first sports wildlife photographer for global shutter. That'll be game changing if it is. I mean, they've had global shutters before, but it's saying it's a newly developed 24 megapixel sensor. So they're staying with the traditional 24 megapixel. And then the other one, of course, is the 300 millimeter f2.8. That's a one I've really wanted them to make for a long time. I've always had my eye on the alpha version, or not the alpha, the old A mount version from an Ulta that Sony ran. I would like to have this lens for some astrophotography, doing tracking. That'd be definitely something for that setup. Boy, you're talking at least $8,000 probably for that setup. And also a new A1 firmware update. Now that would be really good for them to do if they actually throw a really good update at the A1. I'd like to see that. Let's see what's what? Amazon US Sony A1 nearly $2,000 off. It's sold out. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I'm talking about this. So online at 12 o'clock London. I'm not sure what time that equates to for me here in Texas. We got Roy chiming in here. We got not a Canon shooter, but the 10 to 20 full frame ultra wide looks in there. Yes, I saw that. It's like an F4, I think, too. And Sony's got that lens in an APS-C, but not full frame, and that would definitely be a really kick butt lens, I think, in a full frame lineup, without a doubt. I've only seen global shutters on high-end video cameras. Yeah, it's coming. It's the new technology they've got to release to stay current, I think, and we'll see global shutters start hit emerging after this. If it truly does have a true global shutter in it, um, it's gonna be interesting. Like, how do you? I guess it's just it works the same way. It just doesn't have to read the line by line. It just all happens at once. Some power, hopefully. My 787 died just out of warranty. Oh man, that's how warranties work. I mean, that's why they make warranties and build them just right enough for to make it out of that warranty period and be ready for you to buy a new one. So how did you like that A7 though? Being a Gen 1 camera, I haven't ever held or seen one in person, and I know they'd have more of an older school feel to them, I think. And I'd be interested to know what your thoughts on it were, because I'd like to pick one up just to have, like, throw it in a collection, basically, um, just to mess around with. But uh, I try to always find really cheap deals to do that with. I don't like buying primo top end models or anything just to hang on to. Let's see, Brighton Star autofocus prime ones. I've never heard of Brighton Star. I think I have heard of them. I just don't know anything about them. 10 days left, and this is from 2 days ago, to get in on the Kickstarter for Peter McKinnon's Lumen camera bag or Kickstarter. What's your thoughts on this? I mean, I think it's a good idea to have bags that don't look like camera bags, but I'm not so. Although the Peter McKinnon bags, I have seen them, they are very nice bags. I don't think I'd pay the amount of money they want for one. I think it's a cool bag. I just don't have a use for like the bigger one to travel with necessarily, because I mean most of my clothes are so massive anyways. It's like I gotta have more space. Cool concept though. First image of a new 7 Artisans 24 to 96 T29 FE lens. Now that would be a heck of a lens range. It's weird how videography lenses have such a strange focal length at times. I like the A7, but I like the better ergonomics and better design menu systems. So, what are you shooting now, Roy? Have you gotten a Nikon, or what are you on right now? Okay, we're back to the new official announcements, November 7th. So yeah, tomorrow we get to find out what the big deal is. Yeah, pretty much that's the news this week. Is just the A9. Um, Wild rumor: Sony A7S4 has no 8K, but first alpha camera with a new 2-layer sensor. Hmm. Now it's 3 new RF lenses, unique to 24-105 f2.8 and a 200-800 zoom. Wow, $3,000 for a 24 to 105 2.8. That's just crazy. The 200-800 is outpriced Sony's 200 to 600, but it is a 6.3 to f9 lens, where I think the Sony's a 6.3 at 600. So, but yeah, still $18.99. It's not bad for what that lens, what that reach is for that lens. Most of the lenses coming out of China have plastic elements saving money. Maybe okay. I'm not judging yet. Yeah. Mostly Nikons, but also Hasselblads. Okay. Yeah, let's see, what else do we have here? European cashback deals for Sony. Hi-Pi tripod. Yeah, this $450 off the 30-24 anamorphic lens. This was a couple days ago. This was on deal of the day, and I really would like to have some Suri anamorphic for my FX30, but I just don't have the money for that right now. I think this is getting back to where we were last week. So Yeah, we'll leave it there. And let's come back in here. Um, I know mirrorless makes f-stops less critical, but f9 seems a bit too slow. So honestly, when I had my 100 or 400 G Master, it it was a 4.5. What is it? I can't even remember now. 4.5 to 6.3, 100 or 400 EM. Oh, 4.5 to 5.6. And outside, I was constantly at f8, f9, f11, shooting birds at 400. And I consistently. I mean, and if you were shooting at 5.6 with faster shutter speeds, your depth of field was still too narrow, depending on how far away you are from the subject. So I found myself constantly at f8, f9, f11 on that lens. So I don't have a problem with it being an f9 lens, and it's, I mean, it's 1899. You can't really go wrong with that. At the Sony's, let me look at the 200, 600. The Sony's 200 600 is an f5.6 to 6.3, and it's 1898 right now. And this would be my next big long lens if I were to get one, because I've had the 100 400, and while I probably would overall, just knowing myself, would prefer the 100 400 because it's a smaller compact package. I like reach. I've always have liked the reach, and the 200 to 600 here. Put up my lens picture here. This 200 to 600 is it's a long lens. It's all internal, which is probably better for the elements outside, but it doesn't collapse down with the 100 to 400. But I think overall, I'm definitely looking forward to giving this lens a try. Um, but when the time's right, when I find the right deal on one, I'll definitely pick one up. But I just can't justify new prices anymore on lenses. They drop enough, and I'm not picky about them, I guess, to just say, oh, I gotta have something brand new. And you see how I took apart a lens last life, so I'm not worried about them. Uh, Great value lens, yeah. Well, both of them. The 100, the 100 400 is on $100 off. This is 1898, and then like I said, that the RF lens is. I think Sanon's really hitting out of the park with this RF glass. I mean, I don't know if I would ever switch from Sony, if it would be a Nikon or Canon, but the one feature alone that would make me go to Nikon would be the illuminated buttons. I have wanted that for so long in Sony cameras when I'm doing astrophotography, to be able to see the buttons, because I have numb nerve problems with my hands. My hands go numb easily. I can't feel the buttons. So I need that visual cue of what I'm doing with it. Nikon was so slow that I nearly bought the 200 600. Yeah, I think it's a kick-ass lens. I wanted to rent one to go just try it and do some, like, the moon stuff with it, or just do different stuff. I miss my 100 400. I traded it, so I have a complicated complicated history with my cameras and lenses, because a buddy of mine has an Alpha kit, and he's currently on an A7R4, and we both had 85 millimeter G Masters. We both had 55 Zeiss lenses, and he ended up buying a 35 Zeiss, um, and he was borrowing my 24 quite a bit, and borrowing my 100 400 a lot. Oh, and he's got a 7200 2.8. He's got that one also. So he had an A7 III he wanted to sell, and I ended up trading him my 24. I can't even remember how it all worked out. I traded him my 24 G Master for the A7 III, and I did that because I was getting in line to do more video work, and I thought I'd want the 24 105. At that time, I ended up selling my A6400 and buying the 24 105 f4 for the full frame. So I had my 7R2 still, And then I bought the A7 III for video because I use the A6400 primarily only for video and almost never shot pictures with it. And then my A7 III, I never took photographs with it. It was only a video camera, did a lot of YouTube studio stuff. That's all I use it for. But anyways, I traded him my 24 millimeter for that camera. And then as I started doing more stuff, I thought I need wider more than I need telephoto. And as I stepped into a kind of a videography business, which I haven't ever done anything with or really had to take off because I don't spend time with it, I wanted two wide options. So I ended up trading him my 100-400 for the 35 Zeiss and my 24-1.4 back. So I still have those lenses available to me. That's something nice is like if I really need it, I can say, hey, I need to borrow this. And, he's got the lens I can borrow. I got lenses he can borrow. So that's one little benefit to it. And I want to try to start getting back into the building content and around Sony cameras again. And I've got a wealth of equipment available to me to do that with. So definitely want to, start looking and doing some of that stuff. Mostly product studio photography. So I love the LED buttons. Yeah, I that would make me go to Nikon, I think. I think that would be the one feature to make me go to a Nikon brand if I were ever not use Sony. And that says a lot because I'm definitely full on Sony fanboy as far as everything I've ever owned in my life has been Sony. It wasn't just the cameras, but I've had some of the very first cameras too. 35 millimeters more of a street shooter lens. Yeah, I found I never really used it. I mean, I really loved how sharp that Zeiss lens was, and a lot of people said it was soft. That was not my experience with that copy we had. Both times we've ever used it, we were just blown away how sharp and cut out it looks. And I mean, I know this video feed's downgraded, but I'm on the 24 tonight. Usually I'm shooting a little 16 millimeter pancake lens, but I wanted to change it up tonight, and so I'm back on the 24 G Master, which is what has been my primary lens. But I got to get far enough away from it. Well, now I've got the studio space in here to do that, so I actually had it a lot further away, and realized I was too far, so I tightened it up a little bit. I've got nice cutout looks like on my screen. I'm hoping it comes through on the feed. So let's see. So I'm going to move into my main topic tonight. And I meant to talk about this last week, and I ended up taking the lens apart. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this topic right now. This is getting into film photography. And it seems to be quite bad now with the current, I don't know what you want to say, the current influencers out there on YouTube are all shooting, film, especially Peter McKinnon. Of course, if you watch him, and I've kind of fallen off from watching Peter McKinnon like religiously. From I did 2 or 3 years ago. I watched him, every video, but now him, Maddie, and all those higher up influencers, I've stopped following them so directly. And it's because they seem like they've gotten more commercialized, and I'm trying to find new creators on the lower end, and I'm trying to connect with the community of creators around my level more and try to build ourselves up. So that's been a big part of what I've been doing, is just trying to find new people to follow that are in my realm. But that being said, film photography, I've been collecting old film cameras for a while now. I mean, pretty much since I got my Maxim 7000, I found that deal, and I'm the bargain shopper in this. I don't buy anything, and I couldn't believe when I went on B&H. Well, first off, if you're shooting film, it's a luxury item if you want to shoot film now, because I'm sure there's cheap ways to find the film, but if you're going to B&H to buy it, $75 for a 5-pack of Portra 400. So it's not cheap to shoot film, and it's hard to shoot 36 frames when you're really picking your shots. And I wouldn't say I'm into the fad of it. I've always had an interest in it, and I've had film cameras growing up that were just regular point and shoot rangefinder cameras, nothing interchangeable or SLR. but it's something I want to do more of now that I've got so many film cameras, and I'm keep buying them every time I see them because I can pick them up for 30 bucks, 40 bucks, or whatever it is, and I've been buying them. The So, like, my first one was the Maxim 7000, and I bought this kit at the antique store, and I made a video on it on my channel. Um, and this camera kit is like brand new. This camera body, um, and I got the lenses here too. Let me get this back. Let's see what we got. I'm happy with my 24 or wider than the 28 and 35. I agree. I prefer the 24. 28 is a little too wide or too tight for me, and 35 is getting into portrait realm. I mean, landscape portrait photography, which I just don't do, and I never really shot it. Film is trendy amongst hipsters at the moment. Yeah, it's like records are coming back too. If you go to Target, or there's just all these records, all the new albums are coming out on albums of records. It's kind of crazy, and I'm not into that, but I am into good music and stereo. I just don't have a record player, nor do I really want to get into that. I'd rather spend it on cameras. I don't want to go back to film. No, I think it's funner to challenge yourself with a digital camera and put a small SD card in it that's slow. um, you know, to to limit your exposures you can take. Now we can still delete them and go through them and review them, but I think that's a fun aspect of it. But I want to shoot film just for the aspect of just doing it and trying it. But it's a luxury, hobby at this point. At what, 20 bucks a roll of film, plus you got to get it um, developed, and I think that's costing somewhere around 20 bucks right now. I'm not positive, so if you know that, let me know. But I mean, you can get cheaper film, $8-9 a roll, and I don't know how good these are. But if you're going to go through the trouble of shooting something on film, I would think you'd want something like the Portra, because I think this is from what I know, it's a good film. I sell most of the film cameras that I ever use. That's cool. I think they're worth keeping. And I'm surprised, and this is the next topic I'm going to get into in a sec, is what these things are worth. We'll get there in a second. I only have so many cameras because I don't get rid of the old gear. Yeah, so I've bought and sold cameras as I move things through, but I try to keep my lenses, but I have been selling them also. Like I said, I sold my 55 Zeiss and that 35 Zeiss to help fund the FX30 along with the A7 III. But and I don't miss them. And the 55 Zeiss, as good a lens as that is on a Sony kit, I think I was into it for like 200 or 300 bucks. I bought it way right. And I just always said, oh, I'll just always keep it in the back. I'll never, but I get tired of it just sitting there. Like, if I'm not using it, why have it? And I really love the color out of that lens. I love the sharpness on that 55 Zeiss. I would buy another one, but I just didn't use it. And I was getting to a point of, I need something I use, and I use the heck out of my FX30 right now. In fact, it's dusty and dirty just because I use it. In this whole remodel of this office space, I've got drywall powder flying, and the thing's just coated white. It's everywhere in here. But I'm not afraid to use the stuff. But yeah, I like all this old film stuff. I would never sell it. I just keep it. It's not worth selling. It's not, I buy it cheap enough. It's not a valuable thing to me to go and sell. Film is from masochist. I don't know what that word is, man. I'll tell you that right now, straight up. I'm not sure on that one. I miss false color IR film. I don't know what that is either. I'll learn some stuff. Bring that film knowledge on. So anyway, here's the first one I bought. I got this guy for 40 bucks, okay? And I got this at this garage sale place. And I put a battery in this thing, and it's fully functional. I mean, I've got what is this? I've got Kodak 400 in there right now, C41, 24 exposures. And this camera, I don't know if the camera will grab it with my face here. This thing is like brand new, pristine. Come on. I mean, and everyone I've seen online for sale, like the LCD screen's like messed up. This one's like perfect. There's no bleeding on it. It's got some white like residue on the grip, which is fairly common and most of the stuff. So yeah, so I got this one with a few lenses and realized it was the Sony mount. That's when I really started realizing, oh, I can put these on my camera, no problem with the adapters. So I've got this one. And I've got like I think 5 Minolta lenses now. So this is the 35 to 70 f4 that I've got. It's got a little lens hood on it. And this lens is like primo also. There's really nothing wrong with this lens. Get the lens hood on it. So kind of a really cool lens. I got that one. I got the flash. It's brand new. Got the Minolta flash for it. Haven't messed with that to see if it works, but the camera works flawlessly. Like I said, I've been shooting with it. I just don't. I need to finish this rollout and get it developed. So yeah, I got that one. So that really started off the buying these little kits, and I find these bags and kits like this, and I buy them, and they're like $40. And then the next one I bought another 7,000, and I bought it strictly just because it had the 2 other lenses with it that I didn't have. So I've got another 7,000 body. That's not. It's got a little bit of bleeding on the LCD. It's got a lot more dirt on it, but as far as I know, it's a functional body. I haven't tried this one yet, but yeah, it's another clean body. And then I've got a third body, which this one's same bleeding on the LCD screen, but should be a fully functional body as far as I know. I'm missing a body cap for it. So I've got 2 7,000 bodies, 3 bodies, and also we got another Minolta flash, a Vivitar flash, tons of little filters and stuff. I need to itemize all this stuff. Yeah, another Minolta flash. So I got that. And then let's put away. What we got here? What we got going on? Old gear is a little value that I'm not inspired to sell. Yeah, I mean that's why I still shoot my A7R too. It's worth $1,000 on a good day, and I'd rather just keep that camera forever and just keep shooting it as long as it's valid to shoot with, and it still produces amazing images. So in all this stuff, I've been collecting it. Like I said, I buy kits. I find the whole kit somebody had, that took care of it, knew what they had. They either passed away and they've been sold and handed down and given away, and that's how I'm picking the stuff up cheap. Yeah, so here's my Minolta lenses. Got my 70 to 210 f4. This thing looks like brand new, unused. I've got this is the 50 millimeter 1.8, I believe. Oh, 1.7. Yeah, so the 50 1.7 again, really flawless copy. And then I've got the 28 millimeter 2.8, I believe it is. Yeah, 28 2.8. So I mean, they're nice lenses, and they work and they shoot good. I mean, I shoot them on my A7R2 with the adapter. I've got this 28 to 85, and this one's got a dent on the ring here. It looks like it took a fall at one point in its life. and dented the ring. But otherwise, the lens looks good, I think, and it's got a good feel to it. This is an f/28 to, well, this is variable aperture, 33, 28 to 85, 3.5 to 4.5. Nope. And I've also got, oh, this is my Canon FD lens, my 51.8 FD lens. Just another cheapie I have here. But like I was showing you on the last video, I took apart that 51.4 Petrie, and then I've got that Rocore 51.4, which I actually really like that lens too. Seems like a decent little lens, and it was clean. And I bought it for, I don't know, $10. So when I find deals on them, I buy them. But yeah, I got the first Maxim 7000, this lens, the 50, and the 2.8 for $60, I think. And then I bought the second kit with the two lenses for $40. Oh no, I think I bought both cameras for $20, and each one had a lens on it. So that's how I got those. And then at the same garage sale place, I can't reach it. It's getting dirty sitting out. I need to put a bag for it. This is a Tokina ATX 400 5.6, and it's a Nikon mount. And this lens I'm actually pretty impressed with. It's I use it it's all manual, but it has autofocus on it, but I don't have the adapter for it. But this guy here, $12, and it was like brand new in the box when I got it. It's been sitting out here getting dusty. I need a bag for it or a case, so I got to find something for that here in the future and get it cleaned up. The Minolta sometimes was the first successful autofocus SLR. Yeah, that's what I kind of researched on it. It did a really good job. And what's funny is that when Sony bought Minolta, they gained many great engineers. Yes, I think they did. And it's funny to me is that all the way up until recently, they've still been using that autofocus drive in their cameras up until the E-mount. Because I know that's why you need that adapter from Sony to shoot the Minolta glass, so it has that screw drive for the autofocus system. And I know newer lenses had linear motors put in them, but yeah, I thought it was crazy that they still offered that. I donate gear to film schools before I go to trouble trying to sell it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, they do. I think the Minolta lenses work directly in the old Sony A9 type cameras. Yes, they will bolt right on or slip right on there and work and function. And the Sony lenses were just the Minolta lenses rebranded for a lot of them, so they definitely will work. And like I said, I have just a manual adapter that's $20 that I bought. I can manually use them on my A7R II, but I've been wanting, now that their prices are coming down, looking for that LAE4 adapter that I can put on and will give me autofocus functionality out. So, and then I found my next old camera. I found a bag. This is again a $40 find. I like the bag on this one. It is a fairly well used Canon AE1. And I have two AE1s right now. I have another one that's kind of broken and falling apart that my wife actually found free for me. But this one's got the Canon FD 51.4 lens on it. So another f1.4. And I haven't tested this one yet. I want to test it out to see if it works. And it's very clean. It's dirty and used, but it's a very clean camera overall. So I'm excited to get this one going if it's going to function. And then on this one, it came with two other lenses. We've got the 24 2.8 with one of these like tri-way lens element things on the front of it. So kind of a cool piece. And then it's got a flash and filters and all that good stuff. And I've got this. This is a Kino Precision Chiron 80 to 200 f4 macro lens that's in really good shape also. So yeah, I've got a couple old pieces here that I've been trying to get around to and haven't had the opportunity to go shoot with them, but I want to. So we got a teleconverter too. Or no, these are filters, not a teleconverter. Yeah, got all the different filters for these lenses. But getting into the next little topic of this, this old stuff is I'm amazed. I can take this A1, very common camera. Um, what blows me away with it. Let's check this out. Put this back up here. Use 35 millimeter cameras. This is B&H, so I mean they're cleaned. They're probably tested and gone through. But we go down here a little bit. You pass this little stuff. Here's a Nikon FA 35 millimeter, $180. Here's the Minolta an X700 manual focus camera with a 51.7 lens for $200. We have an EOS 2 Rebel 2 T2 for $200. The Pentax K1000 for $229. But here's look at this A1 with the 51.8 lens, $229 for a silver copy. My other one's silver, and it's on the shelf over there because it's just been having one of those ones that sit on display. A Nikon F2S for $289. Here's an AE1 program. Is this a program? This one, I'm not sure if this is a program or not. I haven't done enough research on the old Canons to know if it's a program. But for $299, it looks like mine's not the program. I guess. I want to say the other one I have is though. And let's see here we get. Not a fan of the push-pull lens. Yeah, I haven't used them a whole lot. I like I said, I didn't ever shoot photography professionally or anything like this. I've just been around cameras. And then I had the Pentax K1000 till the shutter jammed. Well, that sucks. How did you like that Pentax? Let's see if they got any photos of it. I have one photo. Huh. But it looked like clean camera copies on B&H. Nikon F4S. So this is the 329 and F100 379. So one of the cameras I've been trying to find is the Sony A100, which is their first Sony branded after they bought Minolta 35 millimeter camera. There was one at a pawn shop. They wanted $100 for it. It was too much money and it was kind of beat up. But I've been wanting to get one of those and then buy some of the newer bodies also. And I got a Leica rangefinder with no picture and a Nikon 35 F5. So the F5, I believe, was one of the better cameras for $569 now. So they're worth some money. If you're sitting on some old camera gear, they definitely go for some money. I have no idea what these are. Nikon F3Ts, 35mm SLR, no lenses, and a champagne color, titanium. Is it actually a titanium camera? $800, $900. That's a Leica. Here's a Leica for $2,000. So the Zeiss, look at this, $2,000 Zeiss Contax 3 35mm manual focus rangefinder camera with 35mm f3.5 stereotar lens without viewfinder. Body was produced from 1936 to 1942, and the 35mm f3.5 was made from 52 to 55. So When digital took off, most of these film cameras were sold for less than $50. I know it's that fad coming back, and I'm buying them when I find them cheap. I don't buy them. I would never spend $10,000 for a Leica. I don't think. But any of these cameras, I wouldn't spend $700-800 for one of these. But like I said, they're coming back. Um, 11 grand, 15 grand. I just that blows me away. It's like watches at that point. I love like engineering, but I hate retrying nearly as much as TLRs. Um, so I think I showed you guys this one last week. This is my other last vintage camera I just bought and picked it up for $40, which from what I can tell is the going rate on this thing. But this is the Zeiss Icon, and I think I determined it's a super. Well, it's been a week now since I messed with it. Love the leather bag it came with and the strap. Here. Yeah, nice leather bag, red velvet, and a period strap in it. I love this thing. But this is an all mechanical camera. And I mean, the weight on it is just, it feels like a solid chunk of metal. The lens is cool because you can change out the front elements to change your focal lengths. And I've been looking at different lenses for it to try to build this kit up, because this is a kit I definitely want to have and like go shoot with. I think if I were to shoot film, it would be on something like this. I really, really like this camera, and I can't wait to load some film into it. This is what's going to make me want to shoot film. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. And like I said, it's all mechanical. It's a contraflex synchro compute. I think it's a super, is what I figured out. But I'm gonna get my research down on this camera. I want to make a video about it because there's not a lot on the internet about this Zeiss Icon from the 1950s. This is a 59 to 62 model. That's from what I figured out. Most of the 1970 cameras have unreliable electronics. Funny how the mechanics are more reliable. Yeah, and this one functions and it works. I haven't put film in it to try to shoot it with it yet, but I can wind it and I can click it. So definitely a cool camera. And all the little knobs and everything, turn the lens. Yeah, I mean, this is just your f-stop, this little knob here on the front, and it moves the element on the lens. It's all mechanical, no batteries needed. I mean, that's just, to me, is cool. So I have a feeling at some point in the maybe not near future, but in the future, I'm going to figure out darkroom and make a darkroom up here. I've got a closet right there I can do it in. So it's going to happen probably. Leica back day. Context was up there with Leica back in the day. Yeah. And this is the Contra Flex, because the Context I think was older, I believe. But when I found this guy, they wanted $75 for it, and it said it came with a camera bag and some lenses, and in the bag was like maybe a 90s Canon SLR, 2000s SLR or DSLR, and it was the zoom lens of the kit, and I'm like, that's not doesn't go with this camera. So I pulled it out, and then I found the Canon camera and lens that went with it, and they wanted $40 for that kit, which I was tempted to buy that too because it was in a bag with the lenses, and I was like, no, I'm not going to get into the EF stuff yet. So, but yeah, I really wanted this, and I'm happy I bought it. Of all the old cameras I have, this is the one that's got me most excited to try shooting with, and I want to get this one going. But value on this one, they're like $40 to $120, I think, and this one's in pretty good clean condition, so, and everything seems to work on it, so maybe fetch a better price. But is there just that many of them out there? I guess you can buy them, so there's no need for anything else. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I haven't seen Cooley for the last few weeks. I don't know what happened. I hope he's doing okay. I haven't seen him out there in the world. He used to stop in regularly on my channel for the live, and I haven't seen him out there. I don't know if he's been joining in anywhere else either. I haven't seen him, but hope he's doing good. With film cameras, the camera just holds the film. It's the lens that counts. That's very true. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, they're just there to make setting adjustments to the shutter, and the lens is where the image is at. And that's something, I didn't ever play with when I was shooting film. It was just, personal film cameras. I shot lots of disposables. I've done nothing with an SLR other than my Maxim 7000, which I haven't even developed that roll yet. I'm on 17 shots, but I've got to, get through those and get them out there. Definitely need to finish that roll off, but I want to buy a roll for the Zeiss, and I want to run it and see how it does and get them developed. I got a local camera shop here that hopefully still develops film, so I'll have them start with that just to stay local. But this little camera, it's just this little 52.8 on it, and nothing really like super special. It says Zeiss, but they make an 85, a 115, and I think a 35 for it. And for probably less than $100, I can pick them all up off eBay. So I might try to find that stuff. But I got too many other things happening right now. And I don't know if you saw this monstrosity back here. It's a Beta Max with a tether. There you are. Hey, there you go. You're fuzzy.
I'm fuzzy, yes. If I turn the camera on. Okay. Nothing's really set, so I wasn't really expecting. I know.
Got some. There it is. You got it. There you go. Welcome, Roy.
Good day. It's warm here.
Sitting down in Australia, right?
Yep.
Crazy what technology let us do.
I used to do it with a lot of trouble before.
Right.
Conferencing used to be really painful.
Yeah.
I've got my grey 18% shirt on just in time.
There you go. Yeah, that's right.
I normally wear black when I'm working because it interferes with the shots.
Yeah. This is like my signature shirt, and it's terrible for photography, but it makes me stand out in a crowd other than my height of being, 6'4", running around. But yeah, black definitely is always one of those colors that definitely helps you hide in the background.
No, it just doesn't reflect the light onto what you're photographing.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
So are you like full-time photographer, or what are you doing?
I'm trying to retire.
Are you?
I just need the money.
Yeah, right.
Every time I stop working, I seem to want some new gear that I can't afford.
Yeah, I'd say get to a point where you're like, oh, I don't need to buy that, but I really want it.
Got some nice gear and enjoy using it.
Yeah. I've got quite the collection now of stuff, but my modern stuff, I keep it pretty simple with my A7R2, and I've got my 24, my 85, my 24-105. That's all I've got right now. And then I've got my FX30 with some APS-C lenses, but my photography purpose camera is still my A7R2, and it's 8 years old now.
I don't think it matters. It's how you use it.
No, I don't think it matters, and I've never even come close to learning the potential of what that camera can do, let alone most any camera. So
most people change cameras before they learn how to use the old one.
Yeah. Yeah, I've stuck with that that A7R2 over the years. I've wanted to upgrade. I've wanted a new camera, but it's $3,000. I've always had an interest in video. I've always done video. In high school, I did
Mm.
you know, videography with high eights and DV. So I've always been around that stuff too. And I kind of took it. I don't know, has it been almost a 10-year hiatus from that, and then finally, just kind of got back
I've
to a
never
point where
needed video till recently. Till recently, I never did video. Now I'm
yeah,
just learning as I go. I'm trying to do some bird shots and things like that. Things I've never done much of.
yeah. So do you get an opportunity to get out?
Sorry, hang on. Oh, what do you want?
I like the ladder in the case of the garage.
It's silver button. It's on the left in the garage. Sorry, daughter interrupted.
No worries. Do you get an opportunity to go out and shoot? Are you far from wild places, or are you?
I've just moved to the top of a hill that's right next to a national park.
Oh, nice.
So I've got lots of wildlife.
Yeah.
I've got wallabies. I've got lots of parrots. What else we had? Echidnas. Even had some deer wander through the house, through the garden.
Wow. Yeah, out here we've get. I'm on a flat plane for about 200 miles any direction. It seems like maybe about 50, 60 miles get into a little bit of hills and some actual terrain contour. Where I'm at, I'm in the Permian Basin, which is the main oil field here in Texas, and
Oh yeah.
it's got its own beauty and own things, and I try to remind myself of that. To me, I grew up in the Sierras of Northern California and Nevada. So Nevada, I lived there for many years out of Reno, and I had the beautiful Sierra Nevadas, Yosemite, all right in my backyard. I mean, Yosemite was 2 hours away on a motorcycle. It was awesome.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. I mean, it's like all these places now in the last 10 years have become just so, I guess the word be commercialized. Like they've just made it so easy to get there, and so the people is just so massive. And
Tourists spoil it.
What that?
Don't like the tourists; they spoil everything.
Yeah, and I'm right there with them too. But it's like, I've been to some really cool places like Canyonlands and Arches up in Utah. Beautiful places, and I've done a lot on adventure motorcycles. I've traveled the whole western U.S. on a motorcycle, so I know a lot of the land. But I go back here, after 10 years of being away from it and going back, and it's just like it's so crowded everywhere in the last 10 years, even. And I'm sure, like looking back, like what my dad does, he's probably looking at 10 years ago how crowded it was, and to me it wasn't crowded then. So it's going to be relative as time goes on. But it kind of sucks because there's just so many people everywhere getting the same shots you're getting. There's nothing new to be discovered.
That's what tourists do.
Yeah. So, but it's still fun, and like I said, now that I'm more into photography and videography, I'm away from those places, and that kind of sucks. I'm like, when I do go, I don't have time for that stuff. I'm doing something else.
Well, I'm right at the top of a mountain, so if I look out the windows or on the patio, I've got 180 degree view of the horizon. It's absolutely lovely.
Very nice. Yeah, that's cool. The out here in West Texas, I'll say I'm gonna be here for a while. I mean, the work's really good. I'm not a full-time photographer. Like I said, I have a regular day job and do something totally different. But this has been a hobby that I'm trying to grow into something. But I don't need the. I guess maybe I just don't have the desire to do it because haven't pushed myself hard to get there, and I enjoy it as a hobby. And I was originally, before I changed careers to what I'm doing now, I was a mechanic. I worked on Mercedes Benz, and I love the cars. I love the brand, and I like working on cars and building stuff. I could care less about that stuff now. And I think the career kind of destroyed it for me in a sense. So I'm maybe leery about that with photography. Like I like it, I enjoy it, but I don't want to make it work. And
Yeah,
that's
that
kind of where I'm
tends
at. Pick up little odd jobs here and there. And I really, it's just I enjoy YouTube and doing it. I'm trying to get my face recreated and back into this flow of like creation and trying to make stuff for YouTube. Because I have a pretty good wealth of knowledge, especially with the Sony equipment. I tracked and followed it in my head and online and everything religiously when I first got into it. And I've even fallen off from doing that, and I don't stay as current with the new stuff as much. And these lives help me do that and try to stay in with what's coming out. I do my Sony Alpha rumors, and I got to go through it because during the week I just don't have time. Work and family and kids. There's not much time for that stuff.
yeah, I've got a bit sick, so I'm kind of tied down too.
Yeah. But I've been trying to find little odd jobs here and there just to do something and try to pick up some work. And if it does go somewhere, great. I've set myself up. I've got a business. I've got everything set up, and it's it can be legit. And and I just do a lot of stuff word of mouth right now too. When I do get projects, it's usually just people that know me and know that I do it. That's how I get what I get. But I don't keep it in constant practice, and that's always a tough thing when you fall off of it for a couple of months. And like I said, YouTube for me has been really tough because I don't get weekly uploads. This live at least lets me get out there and put something up, but it doesn't benefit the channel like a video post does. But I enjoy
people make money from YouTube.
Huh?
Not many people make money from YouTube.
No, it's definitely not something you want to do for the money. My channel's monetized, and it'll produce anywhere from $300 to $400 a year. That ain't worth the time and effort you put into it. There by no means. But it's fun.
I know how much it takes to do it too. Videos are very time consuming.
Yeah, it can definitely take its time and toll on you because it's a lot of work. And I've been doing the studio build out with the stuff. And I crammed this last video for the TV because it was so long this last week. And then tomorrow I'll start doing the next video. And it's been the routine the last couple of weeks. Is just Mondays are live. Tuesday, I usually do a lot of like background work, getting the.
Looks like I'm needed.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to sign off for now.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
I'm meeting you anyway.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you come back here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I got a lot of the Tuesdays. I get like all the footage downloaded and put into the computer and start organizing it and getting that done. And then usually it's Wednesday night, Thursday night, I can start sitting down to edit and get a video together. Has been the routine with this, but like I said, I've got some big project work going on back here. This is going to be a slot for all the Sony electronics I got. The amps, the receiver, the CD player, the mini disc player, all that stuff's going to be stacked up in here. So it's finally framed, it's boxed in, and starting to do the mud work on the finishing. So as you can see, I got the metal strips up. I got to still mud and coat all that. So that's where that's all at right now. So getting that done, and then let's see what else. Lighting's going in. That's pretty much getting to a point. I'm pretty much, as soon as this project back here is done, I'll have this cleaned up this weekend, I hope, if not before the end of the week. So I can actually start putting that together, and then I can start doing major wiring for the signals to the television, so I can get them connected. And then I got to do some wiring stuff on this area for the computer so I can connect to my TV, which I haven't been able to do yet. So I've got to get that done. The electrical will be pretty much wrapped up and done with everything I'm going to be doing with it. I've got all the outlets replaced, as you can see. Got a new 2 gang on that wall. I've got a new one down here. There's one inside here, back in the back for the electronics. The big long wall's got all the electricals all wrapped up and done in it. So that'll be done here probably this week. Yeah, the big one right now is just figuring out the mud and the coating. I've never done any kind of drywall work, so I didn't even really record what I was doing. I was trying to learn it myself, but I wanted to focus on doing that. So that's coming together. At least it's there. And then once that project's done and cleaned up, I can kind of clean up the construction side of it and start doing organizational and putting it all back together. And I got to put some shelves up and put my displays up. I've got my little table that'll sit right here in this corner, I think, or actually a speaker's probably going to go there. Just start putting stuff back into the room and make it functional. Because right now it's just like I try to keep my desk clear so I can keep this moving around for live and have a spot to edit at. And I move it around this room as I need to, which has been really nice. I don't have to have each, stuck to one spot just yet. But I did buy a big tabletop butcher block top that's going to go underneath the main TV. It's going to be a big desk. I've got to go out and I got to sand it. I've got to build a framework for it, and I've got to polyacrylic coat it so it's nice and tough on top. So that's another whole project coming up here in a couple of weeks and get that done, so I can actually build an editing station and have that done and built. So that's coming. Other than that, everything else is just stacked up, waiting for a spot to be put. I need to put shelves up. I just got to start doing it, but I'm trying to. Oh, I've got some lighting stuff to do still. I've got all my LED strips are going to be put up. I bought the connectors to do 90s properly. I've got the proper little tube channels for them, so they won't be just shining dots like I had in the past in the background. It'll be hopefully a little bit better usable glow stuff. The stuff in the back here, that's all working good. My phone. I got app control now for all these lights back here. So the ones right behind me, the blue cove, I can pretty much do just about anything. I can do warm white. I've got daylight. I've got a cool white. And then it's got some, different functionality stuff to just change the look and the mood back there. I can do all sorts of different stuff with that. And then I got, of course, my custom color, which is the blue. And then I can go in and customize pretty much any color I want. You get the full spectrum that I can set it to. So yeah, those are in and done. Back to my custom color there. And then eventually I want to get into some sort of home hub, whether it's, I think I'm leaning toward the Google system because the TV's Google, and I'd like to tie it all together. So I'm hoping with that, I'll be able to work both these apps from one space for voice control, because I've got this other one. And if you see this stand here, it's on a tripod. It's my pistol grip head, but this is an old Bell & Howe B&H video light, just an on-off switch, and it had the 2 video lights on it. I put LED RGB wireless lights in it, and they function and work, so I can actually go in and change the color of them to whatever I want. I got a full spectrum wheel on these. So yeah, that's kind of a cool deal there. So yeah, I got them set to red tonight just to kind of give some sort of different color, but yeah, that one's working good. And then I've got a bunch of different products for this that I'll be able to control from the app. So I'm hoping I can set up some scenes and set up some controls for all the lights and have, different camera angles and all that. Like I said, this is going to be kind of the primary one. I've been using this one a lot just for the lives because it's just convenient without I have everything just stacked in the room right now. I don't have to move this table around a whole lot, but I can switch it around, put the TV behind me, put the different wall behind me. I can go on the full gray wall. I've got all sorts of options with this, so I can't wait to get the floor space clear where I can start maneuvering this thing around and just doing it, make a video wherever I feel like I want to make it at. And hopefully it's try to develop a routine of what kind of video, what type of content will go and what kind of scene. That's what my ultimate end goal is. Let's see here. So yeah, that's the studio update right now. I don't have much more on that. Yeah, that's where we're at. So let's see here. Go in, see what we got going on. Look at the used market, see what's out there used right now. Make this big. Something I used to constantly look at was not mirrorless camera. Let's look at cameras. So Sony A7C-R used going for $27.87 in condition 9 or condition 10. So it's basically new. I bought condition 9 from B&H. It looks brand new opening up out of the box. So I don't know what they have like new at 10. I mean, their classifications are very narrow to me. I mean, you got some death specs on condition 9 stuff that's, like it's been out in the environment. If I turned my stuff in, it would be probably, condition 8 plus because it just looks tethered and worn, but even though there's no marks on it all, it's just has that kind of patina on the finish. It doesn't look like that new plastic. So I've got another camera to talk about tonight, actually. Let's see what they go for. So I've got in my possession right now an A6600. And I was looking because it's got the 18-135. So used A6700 with the 18-135 is going for $1,600. I want to know, let me switch this up to Sony. Put Sony on here because I'm curious to see what the 6600 is worth right now. I've got some content planned around it. I want to film before I sell it, but the owner of it was fine with me doing that. I've been putting it off because of this whole move. Oh, new, they're only $1,000. What? Is that on sale? Or did they drop the price on this thing? Okay, hold on. I gotta find this out. I'm half tempted to keep it for that price. $787, $757. Okay, the lens has to add a lot to this thing. Yeah, okay. Well, $1,145. This is what I thought it would be. It's $1,145, $1,200 probably. So yeah, so let's open this thing up. I got it sitting here. I tried the battery on it. That's about the only thing I've done to it. Let's take a look at this thing because I've been sitting on it for a couple of weeks now. I need to get it sold. Yeah, I just don't have. I should buy it because I missed my 6000 camera. I used the hell out of it, and I think I would use the heck out of this. This thing is like pristine, brand new, you guys. This thing. If anybody's interested in a 6600, this thing is basically was new and not used. The people that bought it just wanted something nice for their property to take pictures on, and it was just too intimidating for them. So said they wanted to go ahead and get rid of it. So yeah, if anybody needs a A6600, email me. But it's going to go on the marketplace probably here before too long. Like I said, I've got to shoot a couple things with it, and then it's reset and everything ready to go. It hasn't been updated either. I know there was an update on it. I kind of want the lens off of this thing. I just don't know. I can't believe the lens is fetching that kind of value more on these things. This is a great lens. It's 18-135, guys. If you're not familiar with this lens, or you want an APS-C camera, this lens is fantastic. I wouldn't mind one bit having this lens for my FX30, because it's a great setup. I'm tempted to sell a 24-105 for this. Oh man, I just don't see myself using the 6600 other than for photography, and I wouldn't want it for video because it's 8-bit, and I think when the 6700 came out, it just destroyed this camera. So, is the 6600 still worth it in this day of age? I don't know. So yeah, it's definitely something, one of those things. It's just like I don't know if this is I really gotta keep this thing clean because this thing is like brand new. But in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna definitely get some content created around this camera, because I at least want to have that done while it's in my possession, so I have something to share with everybody. That's a great little bag. This little ThinkTank poster bag. I really think it's too. It's well built. Got great latches on it. I like this little bag. Yeah. So I think with that, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I don't have much else going on. I really appreciate Roy stopping by and chatting, and also joining on the panel. That's great, fantastic. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I went through everything of my talking points I had. So yeah, I think it's with that. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. So put some outro music on. Well, guys, thanks for coming by. I appreciate you stopping by, checking out the channel, and check out the live feed. If you want something, visit with me. Really appreciate y'all stopping in and visiting. Roy, special thanks to Roy for coming in tonight and chatting with us out of Australia. So good times there. And then, we'll be back here Monday nights at 9 p.m. Central. And in the meantime, I'll keep working on the studio, get it done. Can't wait to get it actually to a finished, usable space, and I've got stuff to do for that. So it's getting there. It's getting close. This was a big project I've been trying to get done here, and that's coming to an end, hopefully, and I'll be able to start actually doing the fun stuff and getting the wires ran and getting the TV hooked up and all that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So thanks for stopping in, guys. I appreciate you coming in. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you want to, hang out with me in the future and want to know when I go live. Hit that like or subscribe button. And that's going to be it tonight, guys. So thank you. Have a good night. Talk to you later.